So first thing first, disclaimers. It's not going to be my most brilliant presentation. I have 2 other ones that are going to be way better on Friday. That's going to be slides karaoke because it's not my presentation and I got it yesterday. But I do know the tools that are involved. I do know QField, I do know QGIS, and I'll try to make the best out of this. So QWine, that Berit was going to present to you, is a project that she's been building with John, which is a guy that really likes his wine. Well, maybe that's a wrong sentence to say. He really likes producing wine. He has been working on wine for over 20 years and has always been interested by technology. He kind of really wanted to have a way to track what he was doing with some digital tools. He wanted his vines to be, his poles, his machinery. He just wanted to have an asset management for his vineyard. And problem is that he started with multiple tools, and eventually it was like, I'm doing hundreds of maps with hundreds of different systems, and it's just eating all my time. And I don't know, I'm not getting what I want to. So he approached us, OpenGIS, in October 2024 to ask us for a quote for helping in for something. And as you see here, he said, I want to record with, so he's doing real-time kinematic in his vineyard. So he's doing centimeter precision. He knows where his grapes are. And he wanted to have something that helped him not miss things just because he was not being careful. You know, he's walking around and he's tracking a point, and then he sees a bird or he sees something that distracts him, and he forgets to track the next point. So he wanted something that would help him being meticulous and in not recording things twice or forgetting. And the drawing he shared is with us at the beginning was like, okay, I have these rows, and I need to find the first point of the row and the end point of the row, and then I need to calculate a midline of it, and then around the midline I have an underwine zone where I need to calculate how big this is, and then I need to calculate the area that I have in between. Can I go through with a wheelbarrow, or can I go through with a machine, or not? So this kind of the thing that oh yeah, and I forgot the vine position, so he really knows where his stocks are on the herd. So it's really a lot of things that he shared with us. We were like, whoa. Well, I'm not going to say the word that we said back then. I was like, that's a lot that he wants to get, and but it's good. He knows what he wants, and so we can build on that. Whenever you go to an IT company and you want something done, if you know what you want, it's much easier to deal with you, because we can ask you the questions, and then we can get to whatever you wanted to. What he was doing back then is that he was using like a Garmin handheld, and he just recorded the post. And then he went on the computer and drew the lines, and then he had to, find, you have a lot of posts and you're zooming out a bit so you can be a bit more efficient, and you're missing maybe the first one, because generalization had shown you only the second one, and you'll end up having your wine line not being the line that you actually wanted to. And it's like, painful. And not having a systematic way to collect this was really bad for him, because I'm already at a solution, because he had all these kind of issues happening. What we suggested him was to build up something with QField, because we like QField a lot, and we can do a lot with it. And we thought that it was really a good solution for him then, because he could go from just having an handheld GPS device to record points into having actually the data that he wanted to see already done in the field. He was able to digitize a point and calculate, having the symbology calculating things for him real time. So he went on from just being blindly digitizing something into digitizing something and seeing what he was digitizing and seeing the result of what he actually wanted to. And this already, he was really happy about that already, like very at the beginning. And so we then went on and built on the stack that we were using. We started working with the model builder to calculate automatically the data in between. So we had the point, and with model builder we were able to go and calculate the midlines, calculate the underwine area, calculate the continuous numbering on the point. So there's a lot of things that we were able to just calculate thanks to model builder back then. And while speaking with him, he kept on complaining that basically the actual problem is that it doesn't have a single place where all its data is. He had this Garmin, he had to, I don't remember how many platforms he had to deliver his data, like fertilizers, and then what did he spray on the grapes, how much stuff did he have in his shack that still was not used. So all these things he had to submit to different platforms, and all of them had a different mapping system. So he had some places where he needed to go on a Google Maps and draw things. He had some other places where he needed to go on a system and draw things. And it just had to do too much work, too much digital work in too many different places, and he wanted to be able to reuse what he was doing with his own system. So that's where we went and said, like, oh, well, we can export data, and then you just need to import them on the other platform. And here we can see that there is a risk assessment report, and there is a fire office report that they needed to fill, and then I don't remember, there is a tractor monitoring that he had, and all this was like different tooling, and we tried to get him into actually a place where he could do the work in one place, and then the system would be able to export things into the other tooling. So we cannot replace the tools that he has to deal with, because that's compliance, that's law, and but we can make sure that what he's generating with his system can then be reused. And that's, I think, something that open source in general is really good at, because we adhere to standards and we can just publish things in ways that are well known. What we did is build a whole digital infrastructure for him, where he would then have all this information, variety, clone, rootstock, all that into a centralized place. He was able to store his information there, but he was able to also to share the information, as I said, publishing GeoJSON or via shared APIs, GeoPDFs. So from QGIS and QField, obviously, you can just so easily get stuff out. And that was the strength of the system for him, because he could really profit a lot of that, because he finally managed to have a centralized system and be able to export things. Yes. So now we're getting into the more detail. He had a web tool for doing recording. He had a level accuracy where he was doing satellites in the middle, so RTK, high precision, in the middle. And then he was doing drone surveying with RTK, which rather high accuracy. And then he is doing now QField with RTK. So he's using an external GNSS attached to QField so that he can keep the high level of accuracy as well there. The only place where he has low accuracy is the web tools that are given to him by some government agency, and thanks to that, he can now keep his high accuracy in whatever he does, and just have low accuracy only in whatever he's getting. I don't know. That's it. We cannot have. Yes, we can go to the governmental agency that is giving low accuracy tools, but that's a bit of another subject. Yeah. I mean, I don't know I guess if you're here, you deal with wine or you're interested in it, and you probably know what I'm talking about better than what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's, I mean, there are laws, you need to comply with them. There are tools that are given to you that you have to use them. So you better do the best out of it. Oops, I went too far. So, yeah, this is what he's able to do now. He's able to take care of machinery, agronomy, and reporting. Means that he can get his all his data in the same place, and he can report to different organizations without having to do the 1,000 maps that he used to do, and he was super happy about that. How does he work? He has a map, a centralized QGIS map. Remember that this is a single person being digitally enthusiast and trying to build up a system that is rather cool and big and complex, but we're trying, because it came with a very clear, like, I don't have much funding. I'm not the biggest winery in Australia that has thousands and thousands of acres of vineyards. I'm Jojo, and I have limited means, and we always kept this into the back of the head, like, yeah, we could do it super fancy and a web application where everything is super polished, but he will never be able to finance that. So we were kind of trying to play with him. What do you really need, and what we can do easily? And that's why this project was super interesting, because we were really trying to push what we had as far as possible. So as soon as you started doing custom development, things get really big and really costly. So we really needed to be smart and try to invest in things that were pre-existing and use them in a way that would fit what he needed. And that's exactly what we did in this project. I think the whole thing in the end was a 10-day work contract with us. So we built up all this system just with the tooling that we had, with a lot of know-how, obviously, that we have about QField and QGIS, that makes us being able to just being very efficient with what we're doing. What we did is it does data collection in QField. It does all the relevant things, infrastructure, vegetation, and so on. Then through QField Cloud, everything gets into QGIS. QGIS is this central place where it gets all the information from the government, and then from his machinery that have some sensor that can deliver also data, and the information that he generates is from QField itself. How does it look like? In QField, he has some interesting forms where he goes out and he digitizes his stocks, his polls, and so on. Takes pictures, he takes videos, and depending on whatever he needs to do, he can record points, lines, or surfaces, and place this back to QField Cloud with some notes, and can then, because there are multiple people out there and QField Cloud allows him to manage a team, can get information from everybody, knowing in kind of real time what is happening in his vineyard. QField has the functionality to be set up to automatically push data on a certain interval, which, if you're in an area where you have network coverage, gives you like semi-real time kind of data coming in. If you set up to send data every minute, you're going to get a minute delay, but you're seeing what's happening in real time. So you can actually, thanks to this, manage also his team doing things on reporting, I don't know, like broken posts, flowering things, or sickness, mildew, or stuff like that. So he can really start doing this super big company kind of things with a very low-key solution. In the backend, there is a simple data model that has all whatever it needs. There are plenty of map teams that we use. If you use QGIS, you probably know map teams. This is a preset of layer styling that you can quickly turn on and off. In QField, we reuse map teams. So there is a big switcher on top of QField where you can say, I'm doing posts. So you put the theme and the map completely changes the way that is displayed. There's another styling. I'm now doing, I don't know, I'm looking for wines flowering, or I'm looking for mildew, and you have themes, so you can just switch, and the map can completely change, even though the data is exactly the same in the backend. Same geo packages being moved around. It's just really how you are displaying things that really changes. Then, as I said, you can do farm management. You can take care of his people. He can take care of his machines. He can do then back in QGIS further processing, where he can do spatial analysis ad hoc. Maybe he realizes that there is some mildew happening on the northeastern part of his vineyard, and he wants to check out how big that is. That's all manual work, manual GIS work. As I said, he's an enthusiast, so he knows this GIS as well. And then he can automatically, through atlases, create map layouts for different stakeholders. His vision, as we said, he came to us saying that he doesn't have much money, and I think these days, but he still has a vision. He wants to go further, so he wants to have a common repository where all this vocabulary, like all things, are being shared, so that other vineyards can take up. It doesn't do this solution. He wants it to be for other people as well. So. And kind of create, as I said, QWine as a tool for wineries, not just for himself, but as a project that can just be taken over by another winery and be reusable. We see that happening in France, not with QWine. We have Q Ecologie and Q another one, which is a person that set up a project specifically for taking care of biodiversity. And he just shared the project, and now there are multiple companies that are using the same project in the back and committing to enhance that project. And here is exactly the same goal: is like finding other companies that would help QWine mutualize resources from multiple small places into one nice big product. The future is obviously us trying his wine finally. And maybe trying wines from other wineries that would like to join him and help him out making this QWine tool that is really helpful for, I'd say, initially probably small to middle-sized wineries, and eventually, who knows? You never know where things end up. When I started QField, it was my last 3 university credits, and now it has almost 2 million downloads. So never say where things are going, but yes, say. Hopefully have a wine together. Thank you. And if you have questions, I'll try to answer them.
Yeah, can you please elaborate on the data model and how you set it up, or just really picture how you feed it into?
Honestly, come in my booth tomorrow, and by then I'll have an answer for you. No, I cannot give you a serious answer. I know that they try to keep the data model really basic. I can tonight have a look at the data model and tomorrow give you an answer if you come at the booth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Hi. Just on the last slide, I think you mentioned a similar project.
Mm-hmm.
What was that again? I missed that.
It used to be called QFauna and QFlora. It was 2 different projects, one for flora and one for fauna, and now they have been merged, I think, in Q Biodiversity, if I remember right. But if you Google for QFauna and QFlora, you'll find them. It's a French ecological company that is building those projects. He's called Hinkelmann, the guy that does that. Kevin?
Are the projects and the repo public, shareable?
I'm not sure if they are yet, but that's the goal.
And the whole methodology?
Yeah. The whole thing would have to be on GitHub. I need to check. Yeah. Yep.
So congratulations, because I'm doing something like that in 3 years, and you took 10 days. My solution is a little bit more complex, but yeah, it's a really good job. And do you think that is possible to use also in other different kind of not vegetation but crops?
Probably
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it's the data model in the end.
Yeah.
Like of course, you will have all the processing models that are for doing these lines. But I know that in Switzerland there are multiple agricultural how do you say Betriebe, farms. Let's just go with farms, and that are doing similar things. Yeah, we know we know one very well where they are doing pumpkin, and they are basically tracking each seed at the seed level what they are planting, and where they're going to expect things coming early and where they're going to expect things coming late. They have these super nice maps. They are actually tracking while they are out with the tractor seeding, and they have a live map that generates what kind of pumpkin they are planting, so that they see when they do a turn, so that they will, they'll plant a butternut here, and then they'll go up and make sure that they don't plant another butternut here. They have this live visualization that butternuts are, I don't know, yellow, and here they will not be wanting to be planting yellow, so that they don't have the same things. And yeah, I see a lot that's doable there. Yeah, I think that's one of the strengths of QField and QGIS, is that they are so easily reusable.
Yeah, I have a question. I was wondering with QField, how much code comes from QGIS? Is it totally different, or they're related to each other?
No, QField is QGIS. There is a full QGIS. So QGIS has multiple modules. So when you open QGIS, you're opening QGIS app, which in the background has QGIS analysis, QGIS core, and so on and so on. And QField is QGIS core with QField app in front of it. So it's the whole backend, most of the backend, with another user interface on top of it. Actually, when I started it, it was called QGIS for Android, and it looked like QGIS on a 3-inch device. And I challenge you to try using it, but that was always the plan: get it run on Android as it is, and then get rid of the user interface. Thank you for a question that I feel comfortable answering.
Yes. One more question, please. Anyone? I'm glad we can end on a high note. Please join me in thanking Marco.